We got audio, we got visual, we have dog. I know, thank you. Hi guys, it's April and this is my mid-month wrap-up. Welcome. So the reading month of July hasn't been going as quickly as it could be, I suppose you could say, because I have only read 6 things. Only 6. Which brings my total year read to 99 reads. Thank you, Doug. Which isn't that far off from when I did my mid-year check-in. At all. I read 1 more book. So my reading page count for the month so far is 1,442 pages, which brings the yearly total up to 29,516 pages. I am now reading on average 151 pages a day because I pretty much haven't read much of anything the last couple of days. Bless you. But that still means I'm still taking about 2 days per read. I've got dogs everywhere. And they're being nice and wonderful. Honestly, I am taking a lot of it very slow because I don't want to be in the middle of something when I start the reading rush because I want to hit the reading rush hard. And unfortunately, the same time the reading rush is happening, things are going to get really crazy at work, but it's gonna happen. I am gonna complete everything for the reading rush. I've just decided that right here, right now. It's gonna happen. I have no idea if you can hear the dogs in the background right now, and I won't know until I edit this. But dogs. Dogs. The first book I have to talk about is The Cure for the Common Universe by Christian McKay Heidicker. That's a name. This is the story of Jackson, who finally meets a girl, sets up a date, and is immediately shipped off to video game rehab because he has a problem. So Jackson's main goal is to get through rehab as quickly as possible so we can get to his date on time, which is only several days away from when he is admitted. Now, there are a lot of video game references within the books, which I liked. The story, however, Jackson, the whole rehab facility, I did not enjoy at all. None of the characters really got to a place where I was rooting for them or cared for them. Some of the side characters on Jackson's rehab team I did start to like, but not in any form of me wanting to know more about them. And then the whole structure of the rehab facility didn't make sense because putting video game addicts into a facility that is promoting them to compete with one another is probably not the best idea. And of course, then you've got a whole bunch of teenage influences, i.e. hormones and brain development. And it was just not a read I really enjoyed, which I'm a little bummed about because video games. I then picked up the first volume of Shiki, which is a horror manga. It takes place in this rural small town in which people are suddenly dying. This family moves into this very big Western style mansion, and then there is a whole bunch of people throughout the town who are starting to put things together and see things. And for the most part, I really like the concept of this story. There is a lot of dark things going on and it is very gritty in a way I like. I can very much tell where it is headed, which is okay. My biggest thing with it is some of the art choices that were made, some of the way the characters are sketched out and done. I started having a little bit of a hard time with that, but that isn't something huge for me. I may continue on with this manga, but right now I'm sticking my feet into a bunch of different mangas to see where I want to just dive in and just binge for a little while. So you might be seeing those pop up here and there. The next manga I picked up is the first volume of Ghost Diary. As you can tell, I really wanted that creepy supernatural manga style, so I'm trying to find that right now because I really like Ghost Hunt and I'm trying to find things that fit into that realm, and so this was recommended to me. It is the story of a young exorcist who is in search of his sister. One day when he was young, she just disappears, and now he is a teenager. He is battling demons in search of her because he is convinced that she has just disappeared for whatever reason. Once again, I like the concept. I like the art a lot more in this one, but there were some details in the way the characters interacted and some of the later characters that come into play. I can tell this is going to be a little bit more on the sexualized end of the manga reads than what I want in the ghost hunting aspect of things. It isn't bad by any means, and I believe it's a very short story arc, so it wouldn't be too much to invest in, but it isn't what I quite want right now. I don't know how to even explain this. The next book I picked up was Shadowsong by S. Jae-Jones. This is the continuation of the Wintersong story. It continues to follow Liesel as she deals with everything that came with the underground and the Goblin King and her relationship with her brother. I like this story so much. It went dark, it went gritty, it dealt with a lot of emotions in a way. I guess I just wanted something really, really dark this month, and I got that in this. There were definitely points where I'm like, well, this is very, very obvious on how to solve all of this. You don't really need to have this much drama about it. But at the same time, all of the little pieces of the underground as it relates to a labyrinth retelling, I loved so much. And just seeing it all played out, it was magical in ways I really truly enjoyed, and I think I need to go back at some point and just reread both of these stories together because I read them a year and a half apart. So there were times in this where I'm like, wait, what exactly happened while she was in the underground again? What happened? So there are pieces there that I had to force myself to remember. So maybe at some point, maybe next year, I will read these books back to back and it will just be wonderful. I also picked up In an Absent Dream. This is the 4th book of the Wayward Children's. I love this series, and I think it's just because it pulls to that fairy tale child in my heart in that dark, creepy aspect way, because once again we are dealing with the goblin market. We get to follow Lundy's story this time around, and I think this one was by far my favorite of all of the Wayward Children stories. There is something about the goblin market and the rules and everything that implies and how everything is handled within the story and growing up and what the world expects of you. I like the way this one was written a lot. And finally, the last read was the first volume of Ancient Mingus Bride, and I think this is going to be a series I truly enjoy. It follows a young girl who finds herself as a magician's apprentice. She comes from a very dark past. She has put herself almost into slavery, and then through a series of events, she finds herself at the home of this magician who accepts her as his apprentice and possibly his bride, in the way that only manga can do. So there is that. Right now you're just following a lot of little stories as she's learning what magic is and what it does and how it interacts with the world. I think this is going to be a sweet story, but it's going to have these dark undertones, which I think is why I'm going to like it. I am definitely going to be picking up volume 2 and continuing on in the journey of where this is going to go, because I'm kind of excited about it. Those are all of the reads that I have read so far in July. Tell me down below if you are going to be participating in the Reading Rush. I have my TBR up in case you are interested. I would love to know what your TBR is, and of course, go friend me over on the Reading Rush website. I will leave the link down below because I would love to just read with you guys all next week. So that is going to be a thing, and I heart you beautiful faces. Bye.